Hey guys, Nick here with another episode of 9 to 5 Crypto, and today we're talking about part 2 of the node vote proposal. This is the final version, and this is the version you can go vote on right now. So I'm going to do a high-level overview of what's going on with this vote proposal for the founders nodes of Gala Games, and also talk about why you should go out and vote, and talk about the implications of the whole shebang, and show you how to vote. So guys, without further ado, let's get rolling. All right, guys, we're on to the final form, the final Super Saiyan form, whatever you want to call it, of the Omnibus proposal. So this is version 2 of the proposal, and this is the one you can go vote on right now. There have been very few proposals that have generated quite as much conversation, thinking, and vociferous debates as the late draft of the Omnibus node proposal. Wow, it's a tongue twister if I've ever heard one. Gala employees spent much of their weekend and the first half of this week in Discord and hosting AMAs on the topic. So guys, there has been a lot of debate on this, and thus we've got a revised format and probably the better version format of this, hopefully. Well, what's the first vote for, since there were multiple votes in the last version of this? Vote 1 is about the halving distribution again, and it's boiling down to 2 options. Option 1, continue with a 50-50 split in the distribution between founders and nodes in Gala Games. So essentially, option number 1, nothing really changes. Besides, we're going to get our halving that's actually going to occur this time. So your 320 distribution should go down to 160, and the distribution, same thing to Gala Games. Okay. And then option 2, should a bonus pool be added to the distribution, creating a 25, 25, 50 distribution of all minted Gala founders nodes, Gala Games, and bonus pool. Best way just to show this and describe this really quick for you is get my trusty little pen out, guys. This is the chart that you're probably going to want to kind of peek at in this chart for previous reference here. Okay, so if we go with the option number 1, you're going to get this cut in half. So these, you know, if we call this up here 320, then this down there should be 160. Because that entire supply is getting halved. And then this over here, if you're a Gala founder node holder, you should go from this pool, these 2 pools right here with us, that should be 160, and thus your distribution should get divided by 2. That's a really crappy 2, forgive me. And then you should be down to 80. So besides, you know, you wondering what that is over there, if it's a 2 or a Z or a scribble, you might be wondering, well, Nick, what changed between the original proposal and version 2? Well, essentially what changed between version 2 and version 1 is that in version 2, we do end up with 80 if we do implement the Gala pool again, the bonus pool. But with our original values here, we had 320 gets divided by 160. In the original format version, our 320 would get divided to 160 and they get divided to 80, and we wouldn't get a bonus pool. In this one, we're just going down to 160 and we don't get a bonus pool. Option 1, things remain the same. We get a halving and distribution. Our distributions from today, 320, go down to 160, and then they stay 160. Okay, previous version, they would have gone down to 320, 160, and then 80, regardless of the bonus pool or not. Now, alternatively, you have option 2, where you're going to go down to 320 to 160 regardless. Okay, we're going to get that 160 regardless, but you have an option to get your daily distribution all the way down to 80, but then we get all the benefits of the bonus contributions that we were talking about in the previous video. And just in case you weren't familiar with those, some of the AMA discussion was talking about run time for your nodes. So if your node's up like 95+% of the time, maybe 99% of the time plus, you have a little bit of room for error in case your node goes down. You know, Amazon Web Services, you have to reboot, whatever. But if you're running 24 hours a day, you get a bonus distribution from that bonus pool. But on top of which, there are other indicators that they were going to use, such as total quantity of Gala and hodling. Sorry, I keep saying hodling. It's once you're in crypto long enough, you don't say holding anymore, you say hodling. Hodling location, example given, inventory versus wallet. Hodling duration, value exchange, buying, selling, transferring Gala assets measured in Gala. other limited actions, gameplay time, logins, etc. So it's rewarding people that hodl, it's people that are in for the long run, people that are, you know, really its attempt here to disincentivize selling. So this would encourage hodling, and well, we know if people hodl more than sell, the price of that asset goes up. So there's a positive in that, as well as, hey, if you're just contributing towards the ecosystem, if you're playing in the ecosystem, if you believe in it long term, you're going to be rewarded the most. And we also have some notes on option 1 versus option 2, whether we want no bonus pool and we want our halving just to be a standard halving, or if we want our bonus pool and we're going to get a double halving but plus bonus gala. In the event that option 2 is chosen, the distribution will remain at 50-50 until a future date at which a bonus pool, which has been crafted in collaboration with the community, can be implemented. In this event, the process of drafting the policies around the bonus pool itself will commence shortly after the completion of this node vote. So what they're talking about there is using some of those indicators and making those part of the policy, right? Making that part of the system, saying, yes, you play, you know, X amount of games, whatever, you get bonus. You sit here and run your node 95+% of the time, not 90% of the time, you get bonus, etc. Those things would be finalized at a later date. However, it is expected to take several months before a drafted policy with community backing can be implemented. Once this policy has been crafted or created, the nodes will be given the opportunity to vote on it to confirm it is still in their best interest before final implementation takes place. So guys, just want to stop you right there. That's an important part as well. And this is where kind of my whole voting idea was shifting back and forth. And originally it kind of changed, and I said, well, I'll just stick with option 1. I'd rather have just more gala, etc. The value is going to appreciate from, you know, more games in the ecosystem, whatever, right? Bull market, we get back in there, we have a halving in general, that makes price appreciate. We're going to talk about that shortly. But I just thought, hey, option 1, I still get a larger accumulation here. But then I really started thinking about part 2, and I thought about how I run my node all the time, AWS, like in the previous video, and I'm leaning more and more towards that. And now I'm even leaning more towards option 2, and I think option 2 is going to be my vote. And I think it's going to be because that last sentence there, once this policy has been created, the nodes will be given the opportunity to vote to confirm it is still in their best interest before final implementation takes place. What that means is that if we get down the road and then we see, hey, well, the policies turned out to be, I have to run my node 99.9% of the time, there's always a failure rate with these. I don't believe that I'm always going to be getting my bonus gala. If something like that comes up, I could then vote and say, no, you know what? I don't want that. And then you can just opt out of it. You can vote against it. And, you know, you determine what those changes in policy are at the end of the day, right? You choose what's going to be finally accepted as the final draft of the paper you're submitting to your 8th grade English teacher because you skipped all your classes back in middle school because you were angry at the world and you were angsty because you were a teenager. I'm not talking about history, guys, here. I'm just using it as an analogy example. So I digress. But yeah, guys, please let me know down in the comments below what you're going to be voting on and why. What's your rationale? Why would you vote the way you do? Doesn't need to be heated or anything like that. I have no heat towards anyone that votes differently than me. You know, I like decentralization of thought, right? Differing opinions, etc. So would love to hear your thoughts on it, your perspective, and what reasons maybe you have that you would go with option 1 versus option 2 or vice versa. All right, and now we're getting on to vote proposal number 2, and these are kind of like all conjumbled a little, so we broke these all down in the previous video. Again, I'll link that down in the comments below, and this is why it's important to look at both and what has changed. It allows you to understand things because they lacked details on what the bonus gala pool was in this second article, and that's why I covered it in the first one, but I digress. Anyway, the first proposal was, should the founders nodes implement a system of organizational approvals for game publishers? And that was just like, hey, you know, we're just going to make it a yes or no via game publisher and or developer that's working on multiple games, that's wanting to come and use the Gala Games ecosystem, especially with that layer 1 Gala chain that's going to be developed. Now, that to me just seems like more of a no-brainer just from a single point of failure standpoint, you know, a business standpoint, thinking like, hey, the more the better. Obviously, you don't want to dilute the quality of content, but the fact that games can develop, get out there, get their game on a, you know, ecosystem and then develop over time. Like I used Fortnite as an example. Fortnite started off as a play to earn survival kind of game against bots and AI zombies, etc. If you don't believe me, go look it up. I used to play it. It's called Save the World Edition. That was actually the first version of Fortnite, and then it evolved into freaking, you know, the whole battle royale, and it's super popular, and now you can, you know, play as Iron Man or whatever in Fortnite. So point being, games can develop over time, and from what they start out to be that you might not be super interested in, may not think it's super great, and they can turn into something amazing. So I'm all for games just coming and getting approvals via publishers. That also insinuates a track record as well. You can look back at publishers or developers' track records, what kind of games they've developed, etc. What kind of games have they backed or funded as a publisher, etc., etc. And then we kind of just get like a run on here. I wish they would have separated this on the article, make it make more sense. But now they're talking about the votes for NFTs and nodes, right? So turning NFTs into nodes. This is what makes me kind of sad, is there was pushback of having nodes being able to be converted to NFTs. We've decided to table this option for now. We will also temporarily table the use of nodes for organizational funding and DAO purposes as well. I don't know what the pushback was, and if you have an opinion on this that I'm just not aware of, or I haven't heard or something, like, please drop it down below. I totally, again, if I don't agree with you or whatever, that doesn't matter to me. But if we talk, communicate, and then we come to consensus or something, or just like we share opinions and we get to see, you know, what other people's thought patterns on it, I think that's important, right? I think diversity of thought is really important. So I'd love to hear what your opinion is below about NFT, about our nodes, Gala founder nodes being turned into NFTs. I think it's a positive thing. I think that, you know, allowing them to be traded on the open market is a huge thing. I mean, especially for people that might have multiple, or people that, hey, Gala Games is going in a direction I don't really support or really want to be about anymore. Cool. You could sell your node and make a lot of your money back, make a huge gain. Even in a bear market, you could still sell these things for a lot of money in like an open free market, you know, OpenSea or whatever. So I'm just sad to see that we're steering away from that now. I would love to be more proactive towards that, and then really see what these things start trading for, especially if you get down the road where, you know, the original Gala fund, the prices of the nodes kind of stay, and the final nodes, the final 50, 1,000 node or whatever, are selling for like $250,000. I believe in Gala Games long term, especially when you're talking about Gala Games, Gala Media, Gala Music, or, you know, Gala Film, sorry, as media. But Gala Media as a whole is being a multimedia organization now. I mean, I think it's going to be a killer in Web3 blockchain game spaces. And I think that, you know, even $250,000, I think eventually, considering that you're going to be getting rewards per game that comes to Gala game ecosystem on top of Gala Coin, I think you're going to be talking about Gala nodes being valued over that. But that's long-term thinking. That's not short-term. It's not like tomorrow or anything, or this year. It's more like 5+, maybe 10+ years down the road. But yeah, that's just some of my thoughts on there. I know I kind of rambled, but I wanted to share those with you. So feel free to share yours down below. Okay, guys, so I actually wanted to take a quick look at the Gala price chart as the finality of this video. Well, not quite finality. I'll show you how to vote right at the very end. But I wanted to take a quick look at the price chart because I think this is something that's kind of important when you're talking about, you know, supply about getting cut in half, distribution of that supply getting cut in half. If we talk about supply and demand dynamics, just in general, if you consider that demand will relatively stay constant or the same, now that's debatable, right? We're in like a bearish cycle. Demand has obviously gone down for a variety of different crypto assets. But, you know, you go back in a bullish cycle, demand's going to increase. But I think, you know, where we're at right now in the market, could it go lower? Could demand subside and go a little lower? Yeah, potentially. People could risk off, sell more of these, etc. But I think for the most part, I think the main damage has been done. Demand-wise, I think, you know, we've seen the most drastic decreases for now. Don't quote me on that. I'm not doing price prediction per se or anything like this. This is all just kind of like supply, demand, economic speculation, and, you know, price speculation. Again, speculation, if anything. But if you consider that supply is about to get halved for its distribution towards Gala Games and, you know, Gala founders, so like founder node people like me or you or whomever might not be able to sell as much Gala anymore. Their supply, their available supply that's getting rewarded to them on a daily basis is about to get halved. Well, you have to also consider demand staying constant. If demand stays constant, supply decreases, then you can relatively speculate that overall price should see a bit of an increase. And let's look at history about that. So if we take a little quick peek at the chart, back in the last halving, which the halving occurred in July 21st, so this was just a supply shock to Gala Games itself because it didn't affect the founder nodes, but just a supply shock to them. The price roughly went from beginning of July, before the Gala halving in July 21st, beginning of July, went from 0.008215. Then to its peak, it went to roughly on July 27th, just 6 days after that halving occurred, it went from 0.02827. And then you look further down here, and I'm not going to use this metric as, I'm not going to use this as an example, but you can see drastic price appreciation after, etc. Huge price appreciation. But just looking in the month of July during that price appreciation that occurred, right? Price appreciating in value from 7.1 to 7.27, you can see 0.028 divided by 0.0082. Which, if you just ignore the negatives here, every time I hit my pause and unpause key, it does this on my calculator. But that is a 3.41x. So you're essentially seeing that price appreciation, from that coin's value times 3.4. Okay, guys. So that is like just a little bit of a supply shock that's going on, where we should be seeing, a direct supply shock going on with the founder node holders impacting us, encouraging and decentivizing selling, which, can increase price appreciation, hodling, right? And as that supply decreases, demand stays roughly constant, price, it's speculative, but price should increase overall. So I'm really interested in seeing what this proposal does. And where we go from here. But that immediate halving that's going to be occurring, it should be still July 21st, but that exact date may have changed. But if it occurs around the same time, it would be very interesting to see what happens to the price of Gala token this July. Okay, guys, and here is the final part of this video, and this is how you go out and vote. And I just wanted to cover this because this is so important. I had not participated in all the votes. Again, we talked about accessibility in the first video. I think that's something Gala Games should work on. I think that where you vote should all occur off the Gala Games website, especially when we're making this Web3. You should be able to vote with your wallet, and that would just be another thought. Hey, if your Gala Founders node got turned into an NFT, couldn't you use that as a key to vote as well by connecting your wallet to the Web3 platform? Just a thought. Gala, if you're listening, Jason, if you're listening, hashtag win trivia. I want that win trivia 1 versus 100 Xbox type game on Gala. Let's go. But anyway, you'll navigate over here to node.gala.com. And I think you'll have to put this exact URL in. I'm going to put it down in the comments below. I found it on Discord, so if you're just not in Discord, or if you're not savvy and digging around there, I totally get it. I didn't participate for a long time there because, again, accessibility was just kind of a little gray. And yeah, I just want to put that down in the comments below. I'll have that link down there. Check it out, and you guys can go vote today on this poll. I don't know if it's open yet. It is open. Surprise, this is actually a real surprise. I didn't see this yet. So you guys can actually go vote right now, guys, and there you can see continue with a 50-50 split in the distribution between Founders nodes and Gala Games for an additional year. So same old, or add a bonus pool to the distribution, creating a 25-25-50 distribution of all new Gala distributed Founders nodes, Gala Games, and bonus pool. So guys, you can cast your vote. The voting system looks pretty. I'm saying that it's pretty, and you can also see time until next cycle. So let's go. All right, guys. Well, that is a wrap on the part 2, the revised version, the version you can go vote on right now of the Founders node vote proposal. Did you enjoy this kind of content? Was it too long? Did I ramble too much? I just try to kind of give my podcasty thoughts and opinions on things. to maybe show some rationale of how I'm, you know, rationalizing these things and working through them and thinking about them. And then maybe that can help you navigate as well, and vice versa. If you have some opinions or thoughts on, you know, what we covered today, where you're going to vote, you're going to vote for it. Are you not going to vote for it? Do you want to see that Gala bonus pool? Are you all about it? Are you just wanting things to stay roughly the same and see that Gala halving and see a price appreciation from a supply shock? Either way, we should get a supply shock, and I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited to potentially get some bonus Gala. So I think I'm going to go with the second vote of getting that bonus Gala. But I would love to know what you guys' thoughts are down in the comments below, and your rationale behind this. That's why I do this, is to communicate with people, you know, just get to know fellow people with fellow passions. So guys, until next time, like I always like to say, I'll ramble less, I promise, eventually. Coffee's on me.